afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today we'll be, of course, presenting our app for the iCreate Mobility Challenge. So today here with me is Yong Wei, and I'm Po Chiet. We have another two team members who are not here, so I apologize on their behalf. Alright, so our app, the app that we're very excited to present to you today will be InstO. But before we move into the app, we're going to talk about this friend of ours. He's called Kevin. So let's meet Kevin. Kevin is just our typical NUS undergraduate student. He's from School of Computing. So the thing about Kevin is that he plays hard, but he works even harder. So what Kevin does towards week 7, week 8, is that he will be constantly looking for places to study, to catch up on his tutorials. So when that happens, we must understand that Kevin is one of the 20,000 undergraduates we have in NUS. So sadly, when everybody is like Kevin, we all know all NUS students are like Kevin, we'll be facing a problem with finding seats for studying. So some of Kevin's challenges while he's doing it, he'll probably ask himself, will us be too crowded for me? Can I find a seat? Or should I just go for lunch first? Or he could be asking, where can I hit for a quiet self-study session? I don't want any group meetings around the area. So these are the questions he'll be asking himself. And more often than not, the problem that you're going to face will be that Kevin will hit down to arts and realize that there are no seats available. He'll go down to arts canteen and realize that it's too full. It's going to take him a while. He's going to be wasting time queuing. So if there are no seats available, what's his next choice? Oh, should I try biz or should I try computing? So he has all these alternatives in mind. But what does this mean? This means that he'll be making multiple wasted trips to different places just to find out if there are seats available for him. And more often than not, he'll be disappointed. This is a problem that's actually faced not just by Kevin, but by many people, even for myself, especially when, for example, we have group projects. So one of the experience I can tell is that, for example, last time I was doing CS3 202. So we had about 6 team members, so it was a real challenge to find seats anywhere. So in the end, we had to split up 6 of us and contact each other through WhatsApp once someone finds the seat. So trying to do this in parallel. So anyway, the question that comes to our mind is, does Kevin really have to make these multiple trips and find himself disappointed over and over again? Or not just Kevin, but many other undergraduates. Is there some way for him to find out in advance whether a certain place is going to be suitable for him to do his self-studies? So with that, our team has come up with this app, InstO. So InstO is actually a NUS community-based location imaging application. So what this app aims to do is to allow students to be able to find out whether a certain location is crowded in advance in a very convenient manner. So these are the motivations we had in mind as we set out to do our app. So what can InstO do? Okay, yep. So InstO has 3 main features, keeping the motivations in mind. Firstly, it allows us, of course, the very first and foremost feature is to see for ourselves the pictures of certain locations that are around in NUS. So, for example, the PC Commons, the Mac Commons in UTown, is it full? Secondly, we also allow people to make requests for images of certain locations. Thirdly, we allow, because this is a crowdsourced NUS-driven application, we allow people to give back to the community by uploading pictures. So I'll just quickly go through some of the features. You'll see them again when Yong Wei does the app demo later. So firstly, see for yourself. So these are pictures that are uploaded by our fellow NUS students. So basically allow us to know how crowded a certain place is. So for example, if I want to find out a certain location, I go in, I browse, and quickly I can see, okay, this is too crowded. This is like 10 minutes ago, this is too crowded, I'm not going there. I move on to another location. Okay, this looks better. It's about 10-15 minutes ago. I think I can try there. And you try there, it's a higher probability that you will not be disappointed. Now, of course, not always you can find certain pictures that you that you want. For example, there's a certain favorite small corner that you have in mind that nobody really knows about. Then for these kind of situations, you can make requests for a picture to be submitted. So you can even tag along a message to say, hey, can someone like show me the queue of the arts canteen? And somebody picks up the phone, they see the message, they can make an image of that particular part of the canteen. Of course, the app will not exist if we do not have this feature, Help a Soul. So Help a Soul is definitely to allow people to upload pictures. So when we set out to do the app, Help a Soul was making this camera app was we aim to make it as convenient and as easy for people to do it. So we actually counted the taps. So to submit a picture is actually just 3 taps away. We want to make it as fast as possible, so people will actually do it. So now, without further ado, I'll move on to a product demo. So Yongwei is going to help to do it. So thanks.
Yeah, okay, thank you, Pochet. So I'm going to give you guys a very brief run through of what the application looks like. So, sorry, let me tune up the brightness a bit first. All right, it's not very clear, but can you adjust that? Autofocus. Yep. This is the zoom. Okay. Yeah, okay. I think this is pretty much as clear as we can get, but I guess. Yeah, no worries. I think the words in the application is actually pretty big, so you can make it out. So anyway, you can see that this orange icon is actually our application. You just click to enter. Actually, you see this actually is a login screen. So the first time user will be presented with 2 fields, which is actually the matric number and the password. We limited the usage to students only because for obvious reasons. Because first and foremost, its primary aim is to serve students or probably staff that are currently residing and studying in NUS. So we don't actually want outside people to come in and contribute to a lot of unnecessary pictures and requests. So without further ado, I'll log in with one of our accounts. Alright, okay, so sorry for a small delay. So this is actually the home screen that you'll see upon login. You can see that we actually have so-called two separate sections for our home screen. At the top you can see there's actually 3 pins, 3 boxes, which is we require pins for locations. These 3 boxes will allow you to pin your most common access location, so that upon login you just have to click on the pins and then you can access straight away to the pictures. For example, you can see that this current user, I've actually pinned Arts Corridor as a place that I usually frequent. So upon login, all I need to do is just to click on the pin and then the picture for the Arts Corridor will load. So I'll touch about this gallery. I'll touch more about this gallery later. So we go back to the home screen. The section below is actually, you can see that current requests. So you can see that there's actually 3 requests for 3 different areas currently. There's computing, Com 1, level 2, and so on and so forth. The reason why we have current requests in the home screen is because we wish to encourage more people to share pictures, to upload pictures. So it's actually reasonable. It actually makes sense for us to put the request right at the front, because upon login, when people see the request, they will just, it's more natural for them and less clicks for them to answer a request from someone. So moving on, actually the pins and the requests are features. You can see that it's actually next. There's actually under the 4 tabs of our application. So the home screen will actually take you back to our previous screen, whereas the other 3 features is what my teammate actually talked about: the check places, help us so, and my request. So first and foremost, I'll talk about check places. Okay, under check places, you can see that we've actually categorized the general faculties or the general locations in NUS into arts, business, computing, engineering, medicine, science, and SD and UTown. Okay, this decision was based was decided upon because most students will usually be residing, or rather they'll be moving around these faculties. So we actually categorized them into the so-called 8 main locations, and this actually to help make the browsing easier. So for example, let's say I want to look at locations in arts. All I need to do is just to click arts, and then you can see that you'll be presented with 3 of the most common locations: Arts Corridor, Central Library, and Art Study Area. Now, I'm sure you guys might be wondering, oh, is this location actually dynamic, or is it, can people actually add in more of these locations? Okay, my answer is actually these locations are decided by us. There's several reasons why we so-called fix this location, but the more importantly, these locations will actually allow you to go to the common areas that we actually we ask around students, and we find that these are the common areas. The reason why we don't allow students to put in whatever location is because each students have different ideas about what a location is about. For example, you might be thinking Arts Corridor. Once we decide what Arts Corridor is, what I mean is, for example, Central Library. Some students might. Can you imagine 20 students if they want Central Library? So you probably have 20 different Central Library. So that's why we actually decided on having these locations fixed and decided by us. And as long as we see that there's more requests for new locations to be up, we'll refresh the app and we'll push out a new version. We'll update with more locations. But for this current version, these are the locations where we think that that will serve the general students currently. So moving on, once you have clicked on, let's say you want to look at Arts Corridor, you just click on the tab, and this will take you to the gallery for the Arts Corridor location. So you can see that we actually have the latest time, the date, and of course you can see you can swipe through and you can browse through what are the different pictures that students have actually previously uploaded. So this gallery will be the same for the rest of the locations. You can just browse through them, and if you don't have a picture, we actually don't show anything. Yeah. So moving on, we'll go to our next feature, which is actually to help us. So this is actually a very important features that we hope that more students can use, because ultimately our application is all about sharing pictures. And as you can see, we make it very easy for students to browse through what are the requests that the different locations currently have, so that the idea is so that people can easily browse through, and it won't be a hassle whereby you have to click here, click there, and then you can see. So probably at a very quick, you just have to browse through, very swift movement, you can look at what are the requests that are being made. So for example, computing, right from the home screen, we see that there's 3 requests. So we'll just click on one of the requests to look at how it looks like. So under the request, under request, there's actually, when someone makes a request, you can actually enter the comments, like my teammate mentioned, if someone wants to see a very unique picture, like is there queue at this certain store, or in this case, are there still seats? So you know that the people who answer to this request will probably take a photo that specially caters to this request. And to take a request, all you need to do is just to click on the camera, and then the camera will load, and And yeah, you can see that you can just take a picture and then it will just send to the location that this request comes from. So yeah, moving on, last but not least, our last feature is actually for my request. So my request is actually just for me to make a request for certain pictures. So all I need to do is just to come to this tab and then click on the button, add request, select the location, select the location that I wish to see a photo of, and then just key in my message. And then after that, all I need to do is just send, for example, let's type a random message. And after sending, this request will be reflected on my request, so that anytime when I click on my request, I can easily access what are the requests I've made, and it makes looking at pictures much more easier. Yeah. So with that, this is the one last feature is actually you can see I'm sure you guys noticed that throughout the application we have a camera icon on the top right hand corner. So this is actually this actually brings up the camera for you to take a picture of locations. The reason why we have this camera is because we want to make taking pictures as easy as possible. Because after all, this is about sharing pictures, and what we really want to see is to have more people to share. So we want as much as possible, anytime, to have access to the camera, to be able to upload pictures as easy as possible. That's why we have it almost anywhere in the application. Yeah. So with that, this is a general look of what our applications looks like. I'll pass on to my teammate to sum it up.
Thank you, Yongwei. So, well, in the short 2 months that we have to do our app, we realized that there are actually more things that we want to add in, but due to the time constraint, we couldn't. These are actually the kind of things that we want to see. Let's say, given time, we want to see a better selection of images. What does this mean? We want to make it smarter. We want to select images that are more suited for the location. So, for example, we want to, implement a sort of like a voting system. So users can go in and say, hey, this picture, I think this is a very good indication of what's going on there. They can upvote it. So we have these kind of things to allow us to show the users the best images for a particular location. The second point is about locations. This is something that Yongwei has talked about just now. Currently we have a set fixed number of locations, but we have actually designed our application in a manner where it is easy to push out more locations. Actually, all these locations are actually stored in a database. So anytime we want, we can just push in more locations. So the third thing is something that we're actually pretty excited about, is that we hope that through the NUS community using the application, we can collate and interpret a certain a pattern, so we can derive a pattern out of this. So for data like that, what we hope is that we can probably give it to for example, the NUS administration, the officers, and allow them to plan better facilities in better locations. So for example, they might realize that a certain location is really always too packed, so it makes sense for them to open up another location or put more tables and chairs for that particular location. So we hope this data will allow us to further mitigate the crowding problem that we have in NUS. In conclusion, our InstO app is actually a very NUS community-driven app. It is something that we hope we can foster a sense of community in NUS as well. We want to bring convenience back to students, and we hope that there'll be a better allocation of space for all the users as well. So with that, this is our submission for the iCreate challenge. We certainly hope that this will be a great platform for us to launch InstO. Right, thank you very much. Now it's probably time for questions and answers.
So, I'll start off. Yeah, I think the biggest challenge you will have is to incentivize people to take photos. If you can solve that, then your app will work. My understanding is that the scope of engineering already have webcam in every single canteen. and they even have webcam in many places on campus. You may want to work with them on that. Instead of user generated, actually all those photos are already live streamed. Yeah, just for info. And they even use a lot of sensors, like sound sensor and all this stuff to determine how busy the place is. Because sometimes photos can be deceiving, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because it's only one angle and you can't take like for example the whole canteen. It's not possible to interpret how busy it is with just one photos. So that's something you may want to look at also. The other one is just the last one is multiple requests of the same location. Do you cater for that? Like if I submit the photos and 10 people ask for it, it will all satisfy 10 requests, right? At one go.
You mean we have so there are 10 requests for a certain location?
Yeah, of the same location.
So what happened is the user is actually allowed to specify that a certain photo has fulfilled their request.
Okay.
So for example, when they are swiping through, they will say, okay, this is a picture that has fulfilled my request. Then they will be allowed to tap on this request fulfilled. So this allows us to track, for example, that the request has been fulfilled and we'll actually
remove it from the queue, right?
That's right.
Okay, but you should automatically remove it from the queue, right? If someone submit, like if it's only 5 minutes ago, there's no need for me to make another request.
So actually, a user is only allowed one request per location. That's the first thing. Secondly, is that each request, whether it's being fulfilled, is also tied to a single image. So the reason why we don't want it to be such that someone submits a photo and then all the requests gets cleared away is because it could be that this picture does not exactly fulfill his request. So if let's say he wants like specifically the queue, the new image might not fulfill his request.
Okay, because I mean, when this app becomes successful, there will be many people making the same request for the same place.
Yeah. Yes, I agree.
And then you need equal amount of people contributing to equal amount of people submitting, and not just one submission and fulfill everything.
Currently, we also have expiry on the request, so it's we set it at about arbitrary 1 hour now.
Okay.
So perhaps we could also look at.
I mean, you can tweak around the system, yeah. Okay.
So when the image is being uploaded, does the system actually extract the metadata from the image automatically?
No, we do not do any processing on the images.
Okay. So I think that's one area. I think as part of the suggestion is to actually pull the information out of the image. Again, with mobile phone, it's very cumbersome if I have to key insert so many things. I mean, if it's possible that it has GPS location, which most of the pictures have now if you turn it on, you roughly know whether it's Central Library and things like that, and you can do the auto suggestions. Is this at Central Library? Yes, done, you upload. The second one, if somebody make a request and another person responded to the request for Central Library, for example, would that same picture be updated in the main page where the current location, the current status of Central Library? Because you have, if you go back to your application, just click, check places.
Check places. Meaning this one?
Yeah. So if somebody else currently actually requests for the same place, right, and somebody reply to you, would this one be updated itself because it's the same location after all?
So you mean the? So I guess what you're asking is whether if I answer to a request, does this answer picture appears on the location?
Yep.
I think it does.
Okay.
It appears as part of the timeline.
Yeah. What's the difference between latest time and earliest time? I don't get that one.
Okay. The latest time is actually. It actually, cause if you have a lot of images, so the latest time is actually to show what is the time of the latest image, whereas the earliest time is to show the time of the earliest photo. So for example, let's say this morning 8 o'clock, someone actually uploaded a picture, so earliest time will be 8 o'clock.
Okay, all right. So I think I agree if you can tap on the live feeds, that would be the best. and because that would really augment, and you don't really need to give incentives for people to actually use or upload a picture and things like that. The other thing is when there's a request, I hope it doesn't end there, and the chat, there might be a simple update in terms of status, because I might say, yeah, there's 2 seats, but by the time you come, somebody sit down already. I might want to just say, hey, that 2 seats available just now is gone. So that the person working there is not like, okay, I have to do something else. Yeah, so I think you need to explore a bit more on what is possible in terms of the location-based system, right? Because I think that's very crucial. And the other part is suggestion of new areas. So instead of the onus is on you to create new spaces for people. Your role should be administrative, which means that, okay, let's approve this new location. So people can come up with new location and suggest to you, and you can see requests coming in. And then your application at the back end should just be like a drop, shuttle box kind of thing, right? New location, boom, okay, put it there. It's a new category and you guys can knock yourself out. Rather than you have to go and modify your codes and things like that. Hopefully that would be the things that's implemented at the back. Because I think the power of this is really crowdsourcing, and the more they feel involved in the application, the more then they might use it. And you won't have an ideal, some places you might never go to, but people really have inside knowledge of it, right? So some of the things as a general comment.
What if 2 persons will request the same thing for the same location? How would this one handle?
2 persons.
Yeah. So like me and Yi-Zhe say so let's say I'm looking for 3 seats at Central Forum. He's looking for 5 seats at Central Forum.
Okay. For our application, actually, it will be two different requests, although the content and the message is going to be the same. But ultimately, 2 of you will have to say that this picture actually satisfies your request at the end.
Sorry.
Have you considered using video instead of photos? Just curious. 3 seconds video.
Okay, actually, I think that could be a good option as well. But initially, when we do the photo, we had to, because one of the problems I encountered when dealing with the camera is actually the image size was too big, so the sending was taking a bit too long. But yeah, I think that is something that we can actually look into it as well.
Yeah, because if you do, I mean, not like you will need to use the data immediately, but once you have videos, you have sound.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you have enough users using it for a long period of time, you can analyze like it's noisier now in this period of time of the day. It might be more. I mean, you cannot be certain that you will be busier in reality, but at least you have something to infer from. Yeah, so those may be something that you can capture. Yeah, because 3 seconds video and taking a photo is more or less the same, right? Yeah.
So back to just now the request. That means, so if someone replies to me, he won't see that picture.
When someone replies to you, actually,
was requested for 3 seats at Central Forum.
Correct.
Let's say you replied to me, so I can see this. Let's say 3 of you replied to me, so I see 3 pictures, right? But you won't see the same 3 pictures.
Actually, the reply is actually targeted based on the location. So if you made a request based on the location, and then you will receive pictures from that location.
I will see also.
Yeah, you will see it as well.
Both will see.
Both of you will see.
Even though it's different requests.
Yeah, but because the reason we did this because we are not sure whether the pictures that someone uploaded will be helpful to anyone else or not. So actually, how the pictures gets how does a request sends, how does a new picture goes to which request is based on the location. So as long as the location is the same, you guys will receive any new pictures from the point you make the request.
So really must fight.
Yeah, then we will find out.
Yeah.
But do you analyze over doing this course of doing a project? Do you analyze the real reality of like like busy period in the canteen, because I would assume that the peak will come very fast. So the information that you see and get to other people is also the time lag makes a difference. So those are things that you need to consider before you deploy this application. Yeah, you should go and observe during a busy period. The queue can form in 5 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
Can you ask the person to reserve the seat for you?
Currently we don't have.
Put the tissue paper.
It should be. Yeah, but currently we have no way of two people talking to one another on this application.
Would you
then
pay
we
to
go
get a
there.
seat here?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Not
Would
be
you pay?
driven to do that.
I don't know. I mean, if it, pay you $2 if you get the bench next to you.
Idea. Free lunch.
It's a problem.
Yeah, actually, you have some incentive that you make it easier for them to want to share. So if I take photo, I get $2. Yeah, I'm definitely going to take photo for you.
Yeah, no problem. At 5 cents, I will do it.
At least cover my data plan.
Oh yeah.
No, no, sure.
Okay, thank you.